This is a presentation on team management. Here's a nice quote from Frederick Herzberg that says, "True motivation comes from achievement, personal development, job satisfaction, and recognition." We're going to see that is very important for team management. Team management includes the processes required to make the most effective use of the people involved in the project. It's making sure also that you have the right people with the right skills at the right time. And we're going to make also a distinction between a group of people and a team of people. And this distinction is important because many times you start a project with a group, but what you need is a team that is organized and focused on an objective. And by creating that environment, you create synergies that help increase the efficiency of the team. Let's look at our process. We have our inputs, in which we have specific information from our HR policies and skills assessments and performance reviews of the staff in your team. You do your plan, you identify your team, you then start building the team, you evaluate the performance of your team, and then you do actions to improve it. The key outputs: staffing management plan, responsibility matrix, team evaluations, and development plans. The first step plan is team identification. The process is of identifying the skills and competencies required to carry out the project activities and assign roles and responsibilities. Then we have team building, where we organize the team and building their capacity to perform in the project. And that's a process where you start as a project manager providing coaching and mentoring. The next step, check, we evaluate the team and the individual performance, and we monitor skills and motivation. And the final step, adapt, where we improve team performance by building skills and setting new targets. One important tool to help us manage this process is team identification. It's a simple matrix where at the beginning of the project you identify the specific skills for the roles. In here we have 3 roles, and then we list the qualifications, the experience, and the technical skills needed. And you use that matrix to find any gaps that you might have with people in your team. Independent of what is the current experience, you need to make sure that you have the right qualification, experience, and technical skills for a specific function in the project. And then you try to find out if the people assigned to that role have those skills, have that experience and qualifications. And if they don't, the idea will be how much you can do to train that person into that activity. Team identification is also organizing the team, creating an organizational chart to make sure that everybody understands their role in the project, also understand the reporting relationships in the project, and also helps you identify if there is any position that is still missing in the project that you needed and it's important at the start of the project activities. An important tool that you use at the beginning in team performance is called the Bruce Tuckman stages of group development. And these are 4 stages. Every team, when they start working on a project, they go to these 4 stages. They're called forming, storming, norming, and performing. The idea is that at the beginning, the teams start going to that process of having an understanding of the project. They go into the storming stages where they are still some conflicts. They might not be clear about the roles and responsibilities or the process in the project. Then they go into the norming stage where they start getting a better understanding of the project, and then finally go into the performing stage where they start delivering and having high levels of performance. The idea that moving into these stages from forming to storming to norming and then performing, it's a process of maturity in a project. But there are cases when extreme circumstances can happen once the team is in the performing stage that it may force it to go back to the storming stage. And this could be changes in the project team structure, new members, conflicts, a change in project manager. There could be some actions that tend to make a team move back to the storming stage. And if that situation happens, then they need to go back into the norming so they can continue moving into the performing stages. Here's another graph that shows that relationship between the different stages in time. And you can see that at the beginning of the project, the individuals may be a very, very high level of performance. This is our level of performance. But the performance goes down when they reach that storming stages. It usually happens when there is little trust between team members. They don't know each other. There's little collaboration, and there are conflicts in how to do certain things in the project. People and the team move out of storming with the help of going into the norming stage, where there is a better understanding of the rules of the project, the roles and responsibilities, how to do the project. They have a better understanding of their responsibilities. They start coordinating and collaborating, and they start building their work more as a team rather than individuals. And they continue to that work until they reach the level of performing, and their performance increases and it becomes higher than what it was before, when they were only a team, when they were only a group of people. Team improvement, that's the step where the project manager makes sure that the team, the loading and leveling, that means that they have the right amount of work, that you're not asking too much of people, that you have the right amount of people to do the activities. Then you also look at training to make sure that you're filling any gaps in skills. You can also include building activities to build some elements of trust within the team. You identify and you continue building motivation in the team and a continuous improvement process in the way the team is performing. Another tool that you can use is this matrix, where you identify all the key skills in the project. This could be soft skills or hard skills, and then you compare it to all the people in your team, and you find people who have a high level of excellence in that skill, or people that have an adequate level. What is important in this type of charts or tables is that it helps identify a key skill that is missing across your team. It could be a soft skill like communication that is needed, and then you identify that you need to build that skill in some of your key team members, and you identify those and you assign them either to courses or training or coaching to make sure that they have that skill, because that is an important skill needed for the project. Thank you. This is the end of the presentation, Team Management.